The Iron Trail. The wind howled like a banshee through the skeletal remains of the abandoned mining town of Gallows Gulch, whipping up dust devils that danced across the deserted main street. Here, in this ghost town clinging to the edge of the unforgiving Nevada desert, stood a man named Cold Copperhead Cassidy. He was a drifter, a gambler, and a gunslinger with eyes as cold and blue as a glacier and a past as dark as the abandoned mine shafts that pockmarked the surrounding hills. Cole had come to Gallows Gulch searching for redemption, or perhaps just oblivion. He'd heard whispers of a hidden vein of gold, a lost treasure that could buy him a new life, a chance to outrun the demons that haunted him. But Gallows Gulch held more than just whispers of gold, it held the iron grip of a man named Silas the Vulture Vane. Vane was a land baron, a ruthless predator who had seized control of the surrounding territory, squeezing every last drop of profit from the parched land and the desperate men who toiled upon it. He ruled with an iron fist, his power enforced by a gang of cutthroats as heartless as the desert sun. Cole and Vane were two sides of the same tarnished coin, both forged in the fires of hardship and loss. But where Cole sought to escape his past, Vane embraced it, his heart hardened by years of greed and violence. Their paths were destined to collide, a clash of wills that would ignite the dry tinder of Gallows Gulch and set the town ablaze. Cole found himself drawn into the struggle against Vane, his sense of justice ignited by the plight of the townsfolk. He became a reluctant hero, a symbol of hope in a town choked by despair. He taught the townsfolk to fight, to stand up to Vane's tyranny, his words like sparks igniting a long-dormant fire in their hearts. "You think you're just dust in the wind," he told them, his voice rough as gravel, "but you're a wildfire waiting to happen. Vane's reign is over. He's a buzzard feeding on a carcass, and we're gonna pluck his feathers one by one." The conflict escalated, simmering like a pot of rattlesnake stew over a campfire. Small acts of rebellion grew into open defiance, culminating in a bloody showdown at the Vulture's Nest, Vane's heavily fortified saloon. Cole, with the townsfolk at his back, stormed the saloon, a whirlwind of fury and flying lead. The gunfight was a symphony of chaos, a ballet of death played out in the flickering lamplight. Cole moved like a phantom, his Colt peacemaker spitting fire, each shot a nail in the coffin of Vane's reign. Men fell like dominoes, the air thick with the stench of gunsmoke and blood. Vane, cornered like a rat in a trap, fought with the ferocity of a wounded grizzly. His eyes burned with hatred as he faced Cole, his voice a venomous hiss. "You can't kill me, Cassidy," he snarled. "I'm the law here. I own this town." "The only law in this town is the law of the gun," Cole replied, his voice as cold as steel. "And today, justice is gonna be served." Their guns roared in unison, the deafening blasts echoing through the saloon. Vane staggered, clutching his chest, a crimson stain blossoming on his shirt. He crashed to the floor, his reign of terror finally at an end. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the crackling flames in the hearth and the ragged breathing of the survivors. Cole stood amidst the carnage, his gun still smoking, his face a mask of grim satisfaction. He had won, but the victory felt hollow. The echoes of gunfire mingled with the ghosts of his past, reminding him of the darkness he carried within. He looked at the faces of the townsfolk, their eyes filled with a mixture of awe and gratitude. He saw the flicker of hope rekindled in their hearts, and he knew that his actions, however violent, had made a difference. As he walked away from the Vulture's Nest, the setting sun casting long shadows across the dusty street, Cole felt a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. He was still a drifter, a gambler, a gunslinger. But he was also something more, a bringer of justice, a protector of the innocent. He had found a measure of redemption in the heart of a ghost town, proving that even in the darkest corners of the West, courage could pave the way to a brighter future. But as Cole rode off into the sunset, a new figure emerged from the shadows of the saloon. A woman, her face hidden by a wide-brimmed hat, her hand resting on the pearl-handled derringer tucked into her belt. She watched Cole disappear over the horizon, her eyes glinting with a mixture of admiration and something more sinister, revenge. The wind whipped through Gallows Gulch, carrying with it the promise of new storms and the echo of a single chilling word, soon. The woman, a mysterious figure known only as the Raven, watched Cole ride off into the sunset. Her eyes, dark as the night sky, held a mix of admiration and a cold, calculating intensity. She knew Cole, or at least the legend of him. He was a man who could turn the tide of a battle, a force of nature that could level mountains. But she also knew his weakness, the darkness that lurked within him. The Raven had her own reasons for coming to Gallows Gulch. She sought a treasure, a relic of ancient power hidden deep within the abandoned mines. But her quest had become intertwined with Cole's, a dangerous game of cat and mouse played out against the backdrop of a dying town. As Cole delved deeper into the mysteries of Gallows Gulch, he found himself drawn into a web of intrigue, betrayal, and deadly secrets. The Raven, a shadow in the night, watched his every move, her intentions unclear. Was she an ally, a foe, or something more? The town of Gallows Gulch, once a beacon of hope, began to unravel at the seams. The line between hero and villain blurred, and the true nature of good and evil became a twisted, distorted reflection. Cole, the once noble gunslinger, found himself questioning his own morality as he descended into a world of darkness and despair. The Raven, with her enigmatic smile and piercing gaze, offered him a glimpse of a future beyond his wildest dreams, a future where he could escape the shackles of his past. But the price of this future was steep, a price that would test the limits of his soul. As the final confrontation loomed, Cole and the Raven stood face to face, their destinies intertwined. The fate of Gallows Gulch hung in the balance, a delicate thread that could snap at any moment. The desert wind howled, a mournful dirge for a town on the brink of oblivion. The battle that ensued was a whirlwind of dust and gunfire, a clash of wills that would determine the fate of the town and its inhabitants. Cole, fueled by desperate hope, fought with a ferocity that surprised even himself. The Raven, her eyes gleaming with a cold, calculating light, fought with skill and precision honed by years of training. As the dust settled, the fate of Gallows Gulch was sealed. The town, once a symbol of hope and redemption, was reduced to rubble, a testament to the destructive power of greed and ambition. Cole and the Raven stood amidst the ruins, the echoes of the battle still ringing in their ears. Cole, battered and bruised, looked at the woman who had once offered him a glimpse of a brighter future. Her eyes, filled with a strange mixture of pity and triumph, held the answer to the question that had haunted him for years. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. The Raven smiled a cryptic smile that held the secrets of the universe. "I am the harbinger of change," she replied, her voice as smooth as velvet. "And I am here to usher in a new era." With those words, she turned and walked away, disappearing into the swirling dust storm. Cole watched her go, a sense of dread settling over him. He knew that the battle was far from over, that the true war had only just begun. If you are enjoying the Western Echoes, Cowboy Tales Unleashed channel, hit the subscribe button for future posts.